No,
When he's on his game.
Did you see the way Tua played last night? Come on, man.
I mean, he did score -5 points in anybody's Yahoo fantasy.
Exactly. Come on. Tua, look, first of all, that's the other thing. Everybody wants to sit here and talk about, I'd put Jared Goff.
I had him in my top 5 for my quarterback award.
Yeah.
I call the MVP the quarterback award because it's not fair to no other player in the league. But
well, I mean, it depends. I mean, it really depends. I mean, you can argue all you want. Christian McCaffrey
should be the front runner for MVP.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, he leads the league in rushing. He
scored 17 straight games of a touchdown.
Right. He is all-purpose, leads all-purpose yards. I mean, okay, here, Jersey, I'm going to ask you a question because, there's always the adjective of who is the greatest black quarterback to ever play the game, right? Who is the greatest white running back to ever play the game?
Christian McCaffrey.
Hands down. But do you see how stupid I get why they say the black quarterback, because the black quarterback doesn't get the shot. I mean, you look at the young black quarterbacks that we have in the league now, CJ Stroud, Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. I mean,
and they're all mobile.
Let's not forget Jalen Hurts. Let's not forget Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, they're all mobile quarterbacks. They changed the game of the quarterback position by adding the run element.
Right. Well, I mean, that was done by Randall Cunningham way back in the day.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why Randall Cunningham is the greatest black quarterback ever. Because if you look at,
or is he, or is it Doug? No, see, if you
really Doug Williams. I'm sorry, Doug Williams.
Is it? Because how do we judge who the greatest player in the game of football is? How many rings they win, right?
That's stupid to me.
I know it is, but we do it.
I go based off the stats. What have you done?
Okay, about the load of, he goes, okay, put another guy from the 70s and 80s against Christian McCaffrey. There's not one guy from the 70s and the 80s that can compare to what Christian McCaffrey has done to the game of football today.
As a Caucasian running back.
Right.
Because if you noticed, after the 80s, 70s, and 80s, what color was a majority of the running backs in the league?
I agree.
Black men.
Right. So put
one of those guys. Said, hold up.
Yeah. Put one of those guys. I mean, who are you going to put?
Let me show you what I got.
You're going to put what's his name from the old Redskins.
Oh, what's his name?
Frank. What was his name? Their running back.
I forgot. Oh, damn. It was just on the tip of my tongue.
With the Hogs. You gonna put him?
Oh, don't you? Wait. Denzel, I'm not going to ever down Warren Moon. I'm just saying.
No. Warren Moon might be considered one of the greatest quarterbacks to me. It's like this. I look at it like this. When you do that whole, I'm going to use the adjective for wrestling, right?
Nice.
Charlotte Flair might be the greatest female wrestler of all time. Over the Fabulous Moolah, over Mae Young, all of that, right?
Because of her championships.
But I would take Charlotte and say she's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
The greatest football player of all time is Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice, greatest football player of all time. Hands down. I mean, when your peers vote you for the longest time as the greatest football player of all time, like they have for Jerry Rice. And look, I get this because of the level of health and medicine and training has gotten way more advanced now compared to. I get that. I get it.
But I think Christian McCaffrey would have still done this if he was back in those times, or if those type of times was still today for the game of football.
Right. Correct. I agree.
I think that man would have done exactly what he's doing.
There's like certain players that transcend sports.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes. Tom Brady, Michael Jordan. I mean, we can just keep going on.
Yeah, there are certain guys, you give any of those resources to those white running backs back then, those resources now, different story. I disagree. Mike Allstott was a fullback. Wasn't a running back. He was a fullback.
And he was a beast. You give that man the ball, and he goes downhill. He's going straight forward, and he's like a freight train.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they used to call Mike Allstott. He was a freaking freight train. Yeah. Because when he got that ball,
remember,
every Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan went crazy because they knew he was going somewhere. He was moving a couple people with him.
Yeah, remember it was we're in good hands with Allstott.
Before Allstott.
Yeah, we were good.
We're in great hands with Allstott. And
yeah, listen,
Buccaneers were.
He possibly Mike Allstott possibly might be the greatest fullback the best fullback to ever play the game of football.
Even over Juszczyk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Juszczyk is really good.
Juszczyk is really good.
Mike Allstott. Okay,
if you're picking, who you picking? Allstott or Juszczyk?
Allstott all day.
Yeah, exactly.
All day. Especially if I don't have a big back and I need a power run up the middle for a yard to get a touchdown. Yeah, I'm giving it to Allstott. Right up the middle.
Now, here's something we're going to go back since we're talking football, right? Jim Brown. Listen, I said it earlier. Jim Brown is, in my opinion, the second greatest running back to ever play the game of football, next to Barry Sanders.
And Ernie Davis is the third.
I would say Ernie Davis. I'd say Walter Payton's third.
You're a fool.
No, shut up.
If Ernie Davis wouldn't have passed away, he would have broke all his records. Stop it.
Ernie Davis wasn't on pace. Wait, how do I mute you? Oh, this ain't my show.
Ernie Davis wasn't on pace?
No, Ernie Davis was great.
He wasn't on. No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking is he great or not. Was he not on pace to break all of Jim Brown and Walter Payton's records?
Okay, but was Barry Sanders
on pace
to break all those records?
Yes, Barry Sanders was. That's why I said Barry Sanders is number one, greatest running back ever.
Was Jim Brown really a fullback, though? Was he really?
That's what I say. Like, I don't look at Jim Brown as a fullback, bro.
Let's really look at it.
Mike Allstott, you can look as a fullback. Jim Brown was elusive. He had speed and he had power.
He was listed as a fullback.
He just lined up in a fullback position, and they just gave him the fullback title. But he was a running back.
Here. So I just
pulled it. He was really a halfback. He was an HB.
So according to, they say for Jim Brown, halfback, fullback.
He was a halfback / fullback.
Yeah. So
like, don't get me wrong, Flame. Don't get me wrong.
Like Jim Brown's
like I said. But Barry Sanders made the running game even different from what Jim Brown, Ernie Davis, Walter Payton, and all those guys did.
Hands down. Like, look, I would put Warren.
Barry Sanders put Emmitt Smith where he is. The way Barry Sanders ran just added to what Emmitt Smith was able to do. Because if you look at Emmitt Smith, he ran like
Emmitt Smith was on good teams. Hold on. Emmitt Smith was on good teams. Barry Sanders wasn't on good teams.
I don't give a damn. Emmitt Smith dislocated his damn shoulder and still played the whole damn game.
I'm not saying that.
What's going on?
Yes, it is a podcast. It is a video. It is a video cast merger.
Yes, because my co-host Double G is off today. He had to work like a 14-hour shift at work, so
you called me out. You called me out on your show earlier.
I did, because you had my back with this whole Las Vegas ballpark issue or thing going on. You know, the rumor that my Vegas Vipers will be playing at Las Vegas ballpark next season. I'm just saying.
Yes, Barry Sanders was on a great 91 team. That 91 team was good.
That was the best team.
There you go. See, right there. Well, because Barry Sanders had to make things happen behind that bad O-line.
100%.
That's what I'm saying. Like my top 5 running backs.
Well, you can't say Emmitt Smith had the best O-line back in the day.
Hold on. Compared to Barry Sanders, yes or no?
Compared to Barry Sanders, he had
That's what he's saying.
O-line, but he didn't have the best O-line at that time.
But that's not what he's saying. He's saying that Barry Sanders played behind a shitty O-line compared to what Emmitt played. For years.
For years, aside from that 91 team.
Can you imagine you put Barry Sanders on the Cowboys?
I think we would have went even. Oh, man, I don't even know. That would have been crazy, dude.
They I mean, you know, they would have been playing those guys for 4 years. They've been playing Buffalo for 4 years. I mean, look, let's not forget Thurman Thomas. How good he was.
Thurman Thomas was a monster.
And Andre Rison at that
Andre
time.
Rison.
How good those guys.
Yeah, because Andre Rison was a beast at wide receiver, man.
Right.
Andre Rison was one of those guys. You throw the ball up, he jumps up and he goes and gets it.
My Mount Rushmore for running backs. It's Barry Sanders, Jim Brown, Walter Payton, and I'll put Emmitt Smith there because he is now the all-time leading rusher. And I'll give Ernie Davis Geronimo looking up at the Mount Rushmore. That's where I'll put him. Now, you want to talk about quarterbacks? A lot of people forget about him, okay? But look, I mean, Denzel said it, Warren Moon. You take Warren Moon's stats from when he played in the CFL, right? Dude would have over 80,000 yards. Have over 80,000 yards is what Warren Moon would have. In my opinion, Warren Moon's one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game of football. Dan Marino, number 2, Joe Montana, and Tom Brady. The four greatest quarterbacks to play the game.
Marshall Faulk is up there in my top 10. I can't put Marshall Faulk at the top 5.
I cannot. Can you put Marshall Faulk over Jim Brown? Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, and Walter Payton.
Walter Payton. I can't put Marshall Faulk over any of those 5.
Now, you want to talk about all-purpose backs? Then you put Walter Payton, or you put Marshall Faulk on that list. If you're talking,
you also got to put LaDainian Tomlinson up there too.
Right. Then you put if you do all-purpose backs, you're doing Faulk, LT, McCaffrey, and then who else is a good one? Shit, that's it, really.
So many. There's so many that we could really go back and look at for all purpose, coming out of the backfield, catching the ball and running. There's a few names that we could really go back and look. Like that's going to be a good.
Who else would you put on there then?
Oh yeah, Eric Dickerson. Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Dickerson. Yeah, I'd put Dickerson.
Yep. Eric Dickerson. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'd put them. That would be my 4 right there. If you did all purpose.
And that's talking all purpose.
That's all purpose.
But you can still put Emmitt up there with all purpose yards. He led the league in rushing, he's the league leading rusher.
Okay. Oh no, but could you put him over McCaffrey because of McCaffrey's in? You know, got to remember McCaffrey's in there.
I wouldn't put him over him. I'm just saying you can throw Emmitt in that conversation.
You could put him in that conversation, but again, would you put him over Marshall Faulk?
No, because Marshall Faulk had way more yards out of the backfield as a receiver than Emmitt Smith.
Right.
Did.
Okay. Would you put Emmitt over McCaffrey?
I can't to this day. No.
Okay.
Not.
Would you put him over Dickerson?
Hell no.
And would you put him over LT?
I think Dickinson actually was one of the. I think he still has like a record for receiving yards as a running back.
No. I think McCaffrey might have beaten it. McCaffrey's pretty much going to
hold for the Rams.
Oh yeah, for the Rams. Yeah.
Marshall Faulk beat that record.
Reggie Bush, no, I wouldn't even put Reggie Bush anywhere near that conversation for all purpose.
All purpose?
Because he didn't do anything. He didn't
play long enough. I don't think he played long enough.
College, I'd put him as one of the greatest all-purpose backs in college.
But when he got to the NFL, I can't give him that title.
I would put Adrian Peterson
over that. I would put Adrian Peterson over there.
Yeah,
in that competition over him.
You know, we're talking about football, right? Okay. Now, You're talking about MVP right here. Now, let's remember there was a team that went to the Super Bowl or, lost in the AFC Championship, right? Called the Cincinnati. How do you say it? How do you say the Bengals name? Do you say Bengals or do you say Bengals?
Bengals.
See, it's weird. So a lot of people say it differently. You know what I'm saying? But however
a lot
you
of
want to
people
say
say
it,
Bengals.
right? A lot of people say Bengals. A lot of people say Bengals. So it doesn't matter. Joey B hurt the wrist. Done for the year.
Yep.
Now, tying this all back to the XFL, AJ McCarron, the Queen just showed me. AJ McCarron just got activated to the 53-man roster.
Finally. Thank you,
now
Jesus.
here's what I'm hoping. So, see, now let's go back to the merger. I'm hoping the merger happens and AJ McCarron is sent to Birmingham where he belongs. And he does not come back to St.
You want
Louis.
him on Birmingham?
Yes, and then I want Ben DiNucci on the Battlehawks.
You just lost so many fans in St. Louis.
I don't care. Don't care. I'll take Ben DiNucci. I'll take Ben DiNucci any day of the week. Any day. Don't get me wrong.
The way DiNucci played last season, you cut down them turnovers. Yeah, I take that rocket of an arm.
You're right.
I take that willingness to go out there, lower his shoulder,
and knock a dude out. Knock a dude out.
Truck a guy. Yeah.
Truck him. Right.
I take Gucci DiNucci. I'm sorry.
I agree. I agree. He's not uprising Smith. I mean, Smith is a very good quarterback. Smith in Birmingham, Jamar Smith in Birmingham. He's a really good quarterback. I thought you were talking about.
I know,
Denzel. I know we have AJ's right. I know that we have AJ's rights. Don't get it twisted.
He wants that trade to happen.
Yeah, I just want that trade to happen because look, I honestly think
trade to happen. He wants Jamar Smith to go to Seattle.
Oh my God!
AJ McCarron.
I'd love to have Jamar Smith.
You'd have Jamar Smith over DiNucci?
Oh yeah! Oh hell yeah! Love Smith. Okay. Love Jamar Smith. Love Jamar Smith. I love Jamar Smith. I love watching Birmingham play. Just because
all you college football fans out there, Michigan's cheating.
They're not cheating. They're just winning. They're a better team. The Big Blue. And listen, the Big Blue produced the greatest quarterback of all time. Do you know who that is?
Yes, I know who Tom Brady is.
Exactly. Dude's got 7 rings. No other player in history have 7 rings. Right? So there you go.
I still think that Michigan been doing more than sign stealing.
Well, I mean, listen.
It's despicable when you go to Western Kentucky. You need to steal Western Kentucky signs, bro. It's Western Kentucky.
Think about the Jim Hart. Listen.
Eastern Michigan?
Listen. Who did Harbaugh play with? Who was he coached by? Mike Ditka. You really think Ditka didn't do some shady stuff?
I mean, come on now. We all know he did.
His defensive coordinator was Buddy Ryan. His offensive guy was Mike Ditka. You don't think there was some stealing going on there?
There's a lot.
You're going to do whatever you're going to do to win a game. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple.
No, you're right.
But no,
that's hilarious.
For Dak being the MVP, I just now
just
look
the way he's been playing. Should his name be in the MVP conversation? That's my name. That's basically the topic.
I get it. Yes, it should. It should be. But I mean, if you really, I don't know, man. It's one of those things. I think the reason why Dak gets so much talk is because of the team that he plays for. You see what I'm saying?
When you have that star on your helmet, it's a whole other animal.
I mean, look here. Animal. Here, I mean, let's look at it. I just Googled the top. I'm on ESPN, so this is courtesy of ESPN for you, right? Mm-hmm. The top 5 NFL quarterbacks right now. Sam Howell, number 1 at 3,339 yards. Tua at 3,177. Goff at 3,075. CJ Stroud, a rookie, at 2,862, and Dak at 2,935. Now, if you go by like they do all the time with stats and all that BS, right?
Dak has 17 touchdowns in the last 5 games.
Listen, again, I'm going back to the way that you look, the way that you look at it, okay? By the way the NFL does it, okay? No, Dak doesn't have. Oh, wait, this is offense right here. Here we go. So we're going to offense.
I hate
we're going to go to touchdowns.
I hate you. It says now the star in the helmet just means they rode the short bus and got to go home early.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you have Dak who leads the league
in Texas, bro. How do you hate the Cowboys so much and you live in Texas?
Who's that?
My boy Hitton. It's the craziest thing to me. He lives in Texas. I think he's from Texas, if I'm not mistaken, and he cannot stand the Cowboys. He hates.
I mean, listen.
The Cowboys.
You have the Houston Texans. Not everybody loves Dallas in Texas.
It was the Houston Oilers at first.
Okay, you had the Houston Oilers. Not a lot of people like Dallas, Texas. So now look, you talk about offensive stats. So let's look at the top 5. Okay, so you have Dak with 23 touchdowns, Josh Allen with 22, okay, Tua with 22, Russell Wilson with 19, Mahomes with 19, Jordan Love with 19, Hubert with 19, and the guy you don't like, Brock Purdy, with 19. Now,
I don't like Brock Purdy.
Hold on. Out of all of those quarterbacks, right? Out of all those quarterbacks I read, that's your leaders in touchdowns.
Stop it. The Eagles is a bad team. Hold on. The Eagles is a bad team. The Eagles is a bad team. That was one of the 5 games where he has 17 touchdowns. The Eagles is a bad team.
No.
Stop it. Stop it. No. And I'm glad y'all brought that up. Thank you, Flame. Thank you, Flame. Y'all sit here and talk all this shit. You sound just like Stephen A. Oh, look who they played. Look who they played. The Dallas Cowboys have they've blown out every team that they've beaten except one team this season.
Hold on now. Hold on.
We beat them by 20 or more points. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the damn New England Patriots by 5. 5.
If you look at it, though, let's really look at it.
They haven't blown one team out this season. The most the Philadelphia Eagles has won by in any game this season is 14 points. That is the most they've beaten the team by. They beat the Commanders by a total of 10 points in 2 games.
All right. You talk about the Eagles? Okay, I just pulled up their schedule.
We just blew them out.
Hold on. I just pulled their schedule up. Are you ready?
They lost to the Jets. We blew the Jets out. That was a team the Eagles were supposed to beat.
Jesus.
No, because I was gonna rant about this anyway because it's starting to irritate me that so many people
have a heart attack, bro.
Cowboys are beating horrible teams. They're beating teams that are below 500, and the Eagles and Chiefs are barely winning against teams that are below 500.
I just pulled it up for you. You ready? First game they played against the Patriots, 25-20.
5 points.
5 points. The next week they played the Vikings at home, 34-28. Okay,
6 points.
Right now they go to Tampa Bay, 25-11.
14 points.
Now they play a divisional opponent, the Commanders, 34-21.
14 points.
No, 3 points, 34-20, 31. My bad.
3 points.
Now they go to the West Coast. Divisional opponent, though. It's a problem. So now you go, then they go to the West Coast. They play the Lambs, 23-14.
How many points is that? 6 points.
Right. Now they go back to the East Coast.
Or not 6 points, but you know what I mean. They go back to the East Coast.
They play the Jets 14-20.
Lose to the Jets without Aaron Rodgers. Keep going.
Without Aaron Rodgers. Now they play it, then they stay home. They play the Dolphins 31-17.
14 points.
Now they go play divisional opponent again, the Commanders, 38-31.
7 points.
Then they play the Cowboys at
5
home.
Points.
5 points, 28-23. And then they played the Chiefs in Arrowhead, 21-17.
4 points.
Now,
they have not beat a team by more than 14 points.
Okay. Now, here's
whether it's a team above 500 or below 500.
Now, here's the remainder of their schedule. You ready? They have a very big game coming up. The next 3 weeks will determine on how good the Eagles really are. Bills at 49ers at home, and then they go to Jerry's World to play the Cowboys.
And we're undefeated at home in the last 12 games.
And that's where the Cowboys score most of their points, at home.
We don't want that.
I don't know.
We barely lost.
Are you ready?
When we play at home, we play better.
Okay, are you ready now? Are you ready? Yeah. Hold on. Okay. So the last 5, should I just do the last 5 games, bro?
Between the Eagles and Cowboys?
Okay. So okay. You ready? I'm just gonna go at the beginning. So they played the Jets or the Giants, right? 40-0.
First game of the season.
Okay. Jersey, there's a pattern here. I want you to just pay attention to the pattern. Okay.
I know the pattern.
Hold on.
We've lost to one mediocre. We lost to a below 500 team that we shouldn't have lost to.
But just
and we got blown out by a team above 500. We have not beat a team that's above 500. I know.
Oh, okay. They played the Jets. They played the Jets 30-10. Then they played
But my point is this.
So
okay. Let's be real. Cowboys have a way better secondary than the Eagles. They're giving up so many yards and touchdowns compared to the Cowgirls. Yeah, I know. So you can't sit here and say anything about nothing. The Eagles are still a better team than the teams that they're playing. And when they're playing these mediocre, below 500 teams, they're underperforming. But everybody wants to talk about, the Cowboys are just beating up on teams that are below 500, blah, 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 blah. Y'all can't barely beat a team that's above 500.
Okay. Well, then
barely beat a team that's above 500.
Jersey, you know what you remind me of right now? Do you know what you remind me of right now? You know what you remind me of right now? You remind me of every,
a diehard Cowboy fan.
No, you remind me of every single Chiefs fan out there. Oh, Chiefs are the greatest team. Listen.
No, they're not.
Listen, the Chiefs
KFC is horrible. They're nowhere near as good as they were. KFC, that's what I call Kansas Fried Chicken.
Listen. The AFC or the Chiefs
KFC
have not they weren't the team they were when they won that first Super Bowl.
They shouldn't have won the game. They shouldn't have won the Super Bowl last year.
Well, no, they shouldn't. They shouldn't have. I'll give you that one. Okay.
The Eagles got robbed and cheated by the refs.
Oh, hands down they did. Hands down.
That was a bullshit game. Oh, Michigan's only leading by 3 now. Let's go.
Right, yeah. But listen, the Chiefs are not right. The Chiefs are not a good team at all. They're not a good team at all. You know what I'm saying? They're just not, okay? I like that one. Jersey definitely sounds like a diehard cowgirl fan right now. LOL. I mean, you kind of do, bro. You sound like all these idiots here in St. Louis or in Missouri that talk about how great the Chiefs are.
I have a real Cowboys hat that has the Cowboys logo over it. Okay, I'm a diehard, but I'm a realistic fan. We have not proven that we can beat a top tier team.
No, you guys have.
The gauntlet starts now. Next week, that gauntlet starts. We have the Bills, we have the Dolphins, we have the Seahawks, which is a good team regardless of their record.
Here's their schedule. Here's their remaining schedule. Okay, the remaining schedule is the Seahawks, and the Seahawks haven't really been playing that well. I mean, did you just see what the guy that you said, Mr. Irrelevant?
Who's poster boy? I am no one's poster boy for the NFL.
he just carved up, the guy you said Jersey, Mr. Irrelevant, just carved up the Seattle team. Really, really carved them up. So the Cowboys play the Seahawks. Then they play the Eagles.
Did he carve them up? Or did his receivers and Debo and CMC carve them up?
See,
that's you fun. Really have to do anything.
Hold on, I want to bring that point up. Hold on, let me finish. Let me give you the rest of the schedule for your guys, because I do have an argument about that in the quarterbacks, right? Okay, I do have an argument about that. So they got the Seahawks, the Eagles, both at home. Then they go to Buffalo and Miami. Then they come back home to play the Lions. And then their last game is against the Commanders. Now, let's really look at the Eagles' schedule, okay? Let's see who's got the easier schedule to make to the championship, into the playoffs, right? So the Eagles have Bills and 49ers at home. Then they go on the road to play the Cowboys and the Seahawks. And then their last 3 games are pretty easy. The Giants and Cardinals at home, and then they're in New York.
Oh, my bad, Flame. He's talking. My bad, bro.
What's he saying?
I thought he was talking about me being the poster boy. Yeah, they got to make Patrick Mahomes happy. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So
you're right, though.
You really look at this schedule.
We have a harder schedule.
You got an easier schedule.
Oh.
Come on, man.
Damn near every game for the Cowboys for the rest of the season, they're
averaging 35 points a game at home, bro.
Damn near every game that's left on our schedule is above 500 teams.
Do you want me to go back again? No, that is not true. Let me go back again for you.
Lies. Huh? Seahawks above 500. Are they not?
Yeah, 6-5.
Second in the NFC West, right? Seahawks are above 500. The Eagles are above 500. The Bills.
Yeah, that is true. 500. The Commanders are the only team.
Above 500. That's why I said this is Dallas's gauntlet. If Dallas can win majority of these last 5 games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. These last 6 games, if we beat Seattle, if we can win all the rest of our games, we're going to the playoffs as the number 1 seed.
That is true. They're going to have to.
We're going, and especially if we beat the Eagles by more than 5 points.
They'll have to, but I don't see
Eagles by more than 5 points.
I don't see the Eagles. If you look at the Eagles' schedule, I don't see the Eagles only losing at least 1 game.
So you don't think that we could beat the Eagles at home?
That would be the only.
They barely beat us. Let's keep it 100. The only reason why Dallas lost that game against the Eagles is because of those dumbass penalties at the end.
That is the only game I see them losing. The only game I see them losing.
I don't see them losing to the 49ers? What? As much as you've been talking about Mr. Irrelevant, you don't think that the 49ers defense is going to what? Jalen Hurts is known. Jalen Hurts is known.
I just looked. I forgot that they were playing the 49ers, so I could see them losing. Yes. I could see them losing 2 games.
So guess what? Guess what that puts them at? 3 losses.
Yeah,
if Dallas wins out, which we have a good possibility of winning out, because I'm telling you right now, Josh Allen ain't ready.
No,
he's already leading the league in turnovers.
Josh Allen is not ready
for Mike Parsons, Osa Odigizua, and Tank Lawrence and Jonathan Hankins. Josh Allen ain't ready for that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to.
You had trouble with the Jets defensive line. What makes you think he's not going to have trouble with the Cowboys defensive line? Ron Bland is going to have a pick 6 against Josh Allen. I smell it. I think he's going to exceed his record that he just set.
Look, I'll tell you, the game that's going to be interesting to see, whoever wins that game between the Cowboys and the Eagles, Whoever wins that game between the Cowboys and Eagles will win that division. So, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of what it's kind of how you do sound.
No, I just want everybody to look at it for what it is.
No,
I get it. The Dallas Cowboys are going to get the scrutiny and all that good stuff because of the star in their helmet, their America's team, the whole history.
He's got a point. No, he's got a point.
No, I'm being real.
No, you're not.
These other top teams have lost to teams that were below 500 or barely beat those teams that are above 500. And here's the thing. Isn't the saying, if your team is better than the other team, you're supposed to beat them, especially if the team is got 1 or 2 losses, you're supposed to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we went out there and did our job.
But look, you sound like every LeBron fan.
What we're asking is, should Dak Prescott be in the MVP conversation for the way he's been playing lately, for the way he's been playing individually as a quarterback? Yes.
I'll say this.
He's playing the best football he's ever played in his career, for one.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And for two, he's making good decisions out there. He's helping us win games. Yes, don't get me wrong. He made dumb decisions in certain games this season that cost us. But even last year, because everybody wants to talk about his turnovers and this, that, and the third. Even last year, a lot of those interceptions that he threw weren't even on him. A good portion was on him.
Oh, here we
go. A good portion was on him because he tried to.
Listen, I'm glad you're talking about that.
And he's trying to be out here like Patrick Mahomes, boy.
Listen.
And doing all this extra stuff that he know he's not skilled enough to do.
I'm glad I'm saying that now. Okay, let's really look at this.
It's the truth.
Hold on, a quarterback does have a hard job, right? The only thing they should get credit for, the only yards that any quarterback should get credit for, is the yards that they catch.
The air yards.
Yards that the ball is in the air. So if it's a 2-yard pass, they get a 2-yard pass, and then the receiver should get all the other yards because he's the one that's running it.
And this is one of my new segments. I have a new segment on the show called Topic of the Week. I didn't do a Topic of the Week this week, guys, because my week was hectic as hell.
So I'm sick of this.
I have one.
So look,
I brought this up. Yards after the catch should be a stat for just receivers. I would have loved to have you on the show a couple weeks ago because I feel that if a quarterback,
hold on now, you were just sitting here talking about throwing interceptions, right? Mm-hmm. You were blaming Dak throwing his interceptions on the receivers. No, who threw the football? Who threw the football? Dak or the receiver?
The ball goes as a receiver, and I'm telling you this from experience of being a wide receiver. Our coaches teach us if that ball touches your hands, you should be catching that ball.
I agree.
And a lot of the interceptions that happen when it bounces off the player's hands, that's on the receiver. No, if your quarterback is getting the ball to your hands, you should be making those touchdowns.
You're right. You should
making those catches.
But then why does the quarterback get the yard, the yak? Why do they get all the yards for the receiver running it?
That's my problem too.
Right. So he's throwing the ball. He's throwing the ball. He's getting the interceptions. Okay.
Very true.
It's plain and simple. That's the biggest thing that bothers me is with this whole thing. Like Sandy says exactly right here. That's the thing that bothers me with this is these guys can do these little, 2-yard checkouts or a screen pass for,
and the receiver goes
behind the line of scrimmage.
80 yards, and they get credit for those 80 yards. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
The receiver's getting it too. The receiver's getting it too. But why is the quarterback getting it? All he did was do the little behind the yards.
Even on those little jet sprint passes now that they call those jet sweep passes. Stupid. How is that a pass?
That's the only reason why Kirk Cousins is worth the shit. It's the only reason why Kirk Cousins is worth the shit because he does little dump passes. That's all he does. That's
unless he goes to Justin Jefferson.
Shit. Right, yeah. I mean, Kirk Cousins is a bum as a quarterback because all he does is little dump passes. That's it. That's all he does, dump passes. And if he throws it deep,
and he has a target like Justin Jefferson.
Right. And if he throws it deep, it's usually an interception because he's a bum. You know what I'm saying? Like Dak Prescott. If he throws it deep, it's a bum. Like Dak Prescott.
Wow.
It's a bum.
Wow.
Bum.
Dak Prescott's deep ball has been great this year. Ask Brandon Cooks.
He's a bum. He's a bum. You know why he's a bum?
Ask Brandon Cooks.
I'll tell you why he's a bum. You ready?
Here we go.
Tell you why he's a bum. Because he wears a star in his helmet. That's why he's a bum. Only reason. Just like Patrick Mahomes is the most overrated quarterback because he wears the Kansas City Chiefs logo.
He is the most overrated quarterback, though.
No, not really. Not really. He is really good.
He is really good.
He does do shit that most players can't do.
But he's overrated in the sense that since you have Patrick Mahomes on your team, you're supposed to be better as a wide receiver? No. Patrick Mahomes can't make you catch the ball.
Well, I mean, that was okay. So then if you say that, then what about Tom Brady? Tom Brady had a lot of mediocre receivers, and he made them look good.
I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point. But he had mediocre receivers who had talent that just needed to be, flourished.
Look, I mean, listen, I can't
help him get that talent to flourish, and to be shown. I mean, shit. Hey, hold on, Sandy. He is better than everyone else.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, look, I don't like the Chiefs at all, but I'm not.
I can't stand them.
Listen. It's like the Patriots. I didn't bet against Tom Brady. I don't bet against Patrick Mahomes until they get knocked out of the playoffs.
You only bet against Patrick Mahomes if he's trying to be Michael Jordan and playing with the flu against the Denver Broncos. Just saying. He played with the flu and thought he was going to win that game. You have a whole flu, bro. Like, you're not MJ. This ain't basketball. This is football. You can't play a basketball. You can play a basketball game sick, but a football game, you're getting rocked out there.
I mean, he did. He did not play. I mean, statistically, that might have been
his worst game in a long time.
It might have been his worst game,
if not his whole career.
Well, here,
I can't stand the Kansas City Chiefs either. That's why I call.
What game was that? That was against the Broncos, right?
Yep.
All right, so I just pulled it up. I'm pulling the game up.
Denzel said you only bet against Mahomes if he's playing Jared Goff. Hey, Jared Goff did outplay him in that game. In that first game
so here season. He was 24 for 38, 242 picks.
No touchdowns. And they lost.
No. None whatsoever. Had 5 turnovers.
His receivers showed up, obviously, because they were catching the ball. He got 242 yards.
I mean, that's true.
So, and it wasn't just Kelsey either. Kelsey actually didn't even have that
good game. You sit here and you talk about Dak as the MVP, right?
Just in the conversation. Should his name be in the conversation?
All right. Why can't you throw Russell Wilson in there?
Because Russell Wilson hasn't been doing it all season.
Neither has Dak up until the last 5 games.
Dak was playing pretty good. He wasn't playing great.
He was playing good.
He was playing good. Russell Wilson wasn't playing that good this early in the season. There was games that they should have won that they didn't win. Come on now, the Raiders. Jimmy Garoppolo and the Raiders.
No,
you beat them.
No,
you couldn't beat them.
Russ was learning a new system. I mean, they've won 4 games. They're 4-0 right now. Okay.
They won 4 games all season long last season too under Nathaniel Hackett.
And I mean, here, the game against the Bears where they won 31-28. This is when they really started kicking, right? He threw for 223 for 3 touchdowns.
He's looking like the Russell of old. I give him that. But I'm not going to throw his name in the conversation right now.
Hold on. Then you played the Chiefs, where he was 114 for 3 touchdowns. Okay? Because his defense showed up. Then they played the Bills. And he was 199, or no, my bad, 196 for 2 touchdowns.
Don't get me wrong. Russell is playing a lot better, a hell of a lot better than he did last season.
Yeah.
He's looking like Russell from Seattle again.
And look, right here, against the Vikings, 259 for 1 touchdown. And now let's really look at the remainder of his schedule. If Russell keeps playing the way he is, here's the remainder of his schedule. They got the Browns in Denver. Then they go and play the MVP and Rookie of the Year, C.J. Stroud in Houston. Then they go to the Chargers. Then they go to the Lions. And then they got the Patriots and Chargers, both at home for the last games.
They could beat the Patriots. They could beat the. It's going to be hard to beat the Chargers. It's going to be hard to beat the Chargers.
Well, in Denver, I think they can. But
I don't know.
Look, they're playing the Browns. The Browns, there's no telling with them. I mean, Myles Garrett might be one of the best defensive players I've ever seen play football.
Yeah. Oh my God, man, this dude. When you've gotten your name over Nick Bosa,
right? Yeah,
and you've gotten Nick Bosa's name lower in the conversation. Like nobody's even bringing up Nick Bosa right now.
Yeah.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Right.
It's literally Myles Garrett
and Myles Garrett.
Well, and then
they should beat the Browns. Right. They should beat the Browns, right?
Oh, and TJ Watt. Sheesh.
Yeah, they should beat the Browns.
They should, but I don't know that defense.
Defense is good.
The thing about the Denver Broncos offensive line that scares me is when it comes to elite defensive lines, they're not that good. You know what I mean? They're not that good. They got lucky against the Chiefs. They got lucky. Denver got lucky.
The Chiefs are not. No, here's what it is.
No, the Broncos offensive line compared to the Chiefs defensive line, they got lucky in that game. They were smart enough to take Chris Jones out of that game, and that's one of the reasons why they won that battle on the offensive line.
Here's what it is. Russell is finally starting to understand the Sean Payton offense. We both can agree Sean Payton probably has one of the most difficult offenses to run in football.
Yeah. Drew Brees was a master at it.
Yeah, Drew Brees was a master. So Russell is finally understanding it. There's a very good chance they could go 4-2 and make the playoffs.
Yeah, there's a very good chance they could.
Right. So I mean, so it's going to be interesting to see how this all goes. And I have a feeling with the way if they go from the way they were being 1-3 and now winning 4 in a row, right? You could put Russell's name in that conversation as an MVP candidate.
Yes.
But they would have to go 4 and they would have to go 4-2.
And he has to throw more touchdowns.
Right, exactly. Now you want to
his name is nowhere near the top of the list for touchdown.
No, and when he's got a lot of young receivers. I mean, Jerry Jeudy's a very young receiver, all of that. I mean, here's the one good thing about Denver is they have probably produced the more 1,000-yard rushers than any other team in football.
And that's another thing they need to get better at with their offensive line is running the ball.
But that's Sean Payton, and I have a feeling Sean Payton's going to get that done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And plus, it's hard to play in Denver. It's hard to play in Denver.
It is, even in basketball. No matter, I don't think anybody really knows how hard it is to really play in Denver. Any sport, baseball, basketball, hockey, that freaking level of what's the word that I'm looking for? Like your air the air up there is totally different, man. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, you're a mile up.
Totally different. And when you're that high in the air, you're breathing different. You know what I mean? You have to. And just imagine going out there playing a football game, playing a basketball game, just playing any type of sport where you're constantly having to control your breathing. It's harder to play there. You know what I mean? That's why you see those guys on the sideline with oxygen tanks on and stuff. Because they trying to catch their breath. They're trying to get their wind back. Because if you're not used to playing there, if you're not used to living there, it's a different animal, man. That altitude.
Oh yeah, hands down it totally is.
Different. Well, Michigan won.
Good for them.
That's awesome. Right.
Love
no,
it.
Not good for them. I hate it. They should not have been allowed to be in college football playoffs. I'm sorry. The only reason why I say that is because I do agree with what Stephen A. Smith said about that. I really feel that Michigan, being that you were caught red-handed with evidence, doesn't matter if everybody's doing it. Everybody ain't getting caught. You feel what I'm saying? That's my thing. Everybody's not getting caught. And if you got caught red-handed to where you even had to fire a staff member or let them resign because you sat here and let this staff member go to other teams' practices and games and dress up in their attire to try and blend in with them just to steal signs and make your game plan off of stealing signs, and you get caught red-handed, ain't no telling how long you've been doing it this season.
That's true.
And then
here's an interesting.
Everybody's like, "Oh, well, you shouldn't punish the kids. You shouldn't punish the kids. They didn't do it." You mean to tell me there are no players on that sideline or on that field that are seeing that offense, getting those signs sent over to them, and they just scan in the field and don't see those signs? Come on now. You don't think those kids have something to do with it? Your coach is Jim Harbaugh. You don't think the coach gonna be like, "Hey, if you see this sign get thrown up, we're gonna call this sign"? You don't think those players was in on it? Just saying. Oh yes, it does seem like it's mail time. Thank you, Hit, because I almost forgot, man. Let's run some mail time real quick.
Hey, whatever. It's your show.
Before we get back into it, y'all. Because we've been going for a long time today. It's almost 3. We're almost at 3 hours. Let's get it.
But where's the mail?
It looped on accident.
Oh, it did?
All right. First fan mail question. What is your take on the season so far? Do you think these teams are putting their best foot forward?
Which teams?
He's talking about all of them in the NFL.
Talking about all of them?
In my opinion, I feel at this point in the season, some teams have given up. I'm not even going to lie. I think some teams like the Chicago Bears, I think some teams like the Arizona Cardinals, I think they're saving face for the season. Even the Carolina Panthers, I think they're just going to be, I don't see a lot of these teams that are going to continue to keep their foot on the pedal for the rest of the season. No point. Yeah, go out there, compete in the game, try and win the game, but you're going to see a difference in how these teams play for the rest of the season. The teams that know they have no shot at making the playoffs, they're playing for draft spots now. They're playing for draft position. So you're not going to see them put their best foot forward for the remainder of the season. Any of those teams who have 1, 2, 3 wins at the most, they know they're not making the playoffs. There's not enough games left. They're not going to get above 500. And in the NFC South division, for instance, now that's different. A lot of those teams are still in the race. Hell, all those teams are still in the race.
No, the North, you mean?
No, the South. NFC South.
AFC or NFC?
The Saints right now, they're 5-5, I believe.
Yeah, Carolina's 1-9, though.
So there's 3 teams in the NFC South that could possibly make the playoffs. The Bucks, the Falcons, and the Saints. They're all still fighting for division winner. They're still all fighting for that division title. Those 3 teams. Carolina's out of it. They're not even in the race no more. Those are one of the teams you're going to see that aren't going to continue to put their best foot forward because there's no need. They made a dumb deal by trading away DJ Moore for the number 1 pick, and they put Bryce Young in a dumb situation because they didn't want to get any more offensive linemen for him, whether it was drafting them or getting them in free agency. So if you're looking at like the different races in around the league, there are going to be a lot of teams that you look at differently because their record. They know they have no chance of making the playoffs. Now they're fighting for draft position for next season. You know what I mean? So, honestly, that's what you have to look for the remainder of the season. The teams who have a very, very bad record, 1-8, 2-9, whatever the case, they're not going to put their best foot forward for the rest of the season. And after, let's say the Giants, for instance, they fizzled out. You signed Daniel Jones to this huge contract. He's lost for the season. Saquon Barkley got injured at the beginning of the season, left Daniel Jones on his own. Then Daniel Jones ends up getting hurt. Now you got Tommy, Danny, Ricky DeVito, whatever the kid's name is, playing for the Giants and starting as the quarterback, even over Tyrod Taylor. Like, there's going to be a few teams, like I said, that you're going to see for the remainder of the season that just aren't going to put their best foot forward. And that's just what it is. That's just how the NFL works. And don't get me wrong, I feel that in some games, teams could have been better, and teams should do better. They should play better mentally. They should have a better mental when it comes to penalties and things like that, and preventing penalties and not making dumb plays. So it's just a matter of actually looking at how these teams are playing for the remainder of the season. How do you feel, Dirty?
I will say this. So, you want to talk what's my take on the season so far? It is exactly where I thought it would line up at by the teams, with the only surprise being that the New York Jets, because of losing Aaron Rodgers at the way where they lost him and how they lost him.
And CJ Stroud and the Texans are surprised.
Now, look, you talk about the Carolina Panthers. I think they made a dumb mistake by drafting who they did in Bryce Young, because I don't think Bryce Young is an NFL quarterback. It's been proven that short quarterbacks, name me another quarterback under 5'10" that has done anything besides Russell Wilson.
Well, how tall was Michael Vick?
Michael Vick was over 6 foot.
Okay. Never mind.
Okay. The thing that shocks me is that you could have one division in the AFC still have all of the wild card spots. And the NFC North could have all of the wild card spots, depending on who they put behind the center in Cincinnati, right? The shock to me is that how well CJ Stroud has played and how he is literally taking that team, the Houston Texans, from nothing. Jeff Hostetler had one good year. That was it. I
was going to say that same thing. He had like one season.
That was it.
Their whole offensive line got dismantled, and it was a wrap for him. That's why he didn't last in the league that long.
So the biggest shock the biggest shock is how well, and it shows how one player can change an entire team.
Yeah.
One player can change an entire team. Like, think about it. You're the Carolina Panthers. You're going to have the number 1 pick. Okay? Are you really going to stay invested with Bryce Young when you got Bo Dixon coming out of college next year? You got the kid coming. Where's the kid from UCLA or USC?
Caleb Williams and Bo Nix, and you got Drake Mayo.
You're really going to stick with Bryce Young?
I mean,
you're really going to me?
Chicago stuck with Justin Fields with all these quarterbacks that came in.
I don't even want to talk about it. Chicago that's my football team. They're idiots. That entire ownership should jump off the top of Soldier Memorial Stadium and kill themselves. It's just that simple. But yeah, so I think the way that we see this, and listen, I hope Carolina stays with Bryce Young and we can get either one of those guys, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, or whatever. I hope.
I mean, because Drake Mayo, Caleb Williams, and Bo Nix all have the size that Bryce Young does not have.
Exactly. But I'll take either one of them. I'll take any one of those 3 guys on the Bears. But yeah, I do agree. I think that there are going to be teams like Arizona. They're 2-9. They're terrible. But yet they just signed Kyler Murray to almost a $300 million contract.
An extension.
How you feeling now?
And I think that was kind of dumb on their part because your season's done.
Like the Colts, I feel bad for the Colts because of Richardson. We couldn't have seen what he got to do.
And I feel the Colts made a mistake by starting him over Gardner Minshew when they should have let Gardner Minshew start, regardless of how the season went. Look at what Gardner Minshew has done.
But he only had 14 starts, but he tore it up in Florida. 14 starts, and he was in the Heisman Trophy running. 14 starts, but then now you got him hurt, and now he's probably
in an NFL situation where he's starting.
Yeah, and he
only had 1 year. He only had 1 year of college starts.
So it shows the typical BS that the NFL has done.
Yeah.
And then the shocking on how one player can turn an entire franchise around, like CJ Stroud has done in Houston.
Patrick Mahomes did in Kansas City.
Yeah, he wouldn't have done that with the Bears.
Because look what happened when Alex Smith was there. Chiefs weren't that relevant.
But Mahomes didn't start as a rookie, though. This is a rookie.
I know.
That is what's
scares me
so great.
That's what scares me about the Houston Texans.
Is what CJ Stroud. Yeah, what CJ Stroud has done as a rookie.
He makes Cam Newton's rookie year look like, oh, that was just a piece of cake. I did that with the way CJ Stroud is playing. He's like, oh yeah, Cam Newton's rookie season, that's in my sleep.
Yeah. That's nothing.
No, that's nothing. He's right. That's nothing. So yeah, I really think that a lot of these teams are shooting for the draft now.
I do too.
You're not going to see them put their foot on the gas.
I mean, like you're looking New England shooting for the draft, and we know Belichick. And Belichick, this might be the first time we see Belichick. We won't see Belichick standing on the sideline with New England. He could be gone.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
He's not going to want to pick up Bill Belichick though.
I mean, look, you got the Tennessee Titans sitting at 3-7, right? You got the New York Giants 3-8, the Bears 3-8, Carolina 1-9, Arizona 2-9. So yeah,
so many teams right now.
So many teams
have a losing record that are going to be in your top 5, top 6 draft picks unless they've made trades.
And again, I'll go back to this: the way the Lions are playing, didn't expect that. The way the Texans are playing, didn't expect that.
Yeah, at all.
To see an entire division possibly be playing for all the wild card spots in one division. Unbelievable.
We haven't seen that since last year.
Yeah. I mean, unbelievable. So
last year would have been the first time in a long time that all teams in one division made the playoffs.
Yeah. So for me, it's more of a shock.
If the Commanders wouldn't have took out Taylor Heineke last year, replaced him with Carson's Can't Wentz, I promise you, Washington would have made the playoffs last season.
I agree.
All 4 NFC East teams would have been in the playoffs.
I agree.
But yeah, right now, with the season coming to an end, the playoff push really being in effect right now, a lot of teams that are in those draft positions to get high picks in the draft, that's what they're shooting for now. They're shooting for the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 spots in the draft.
Yep.
Those top 5, top 6 spots in the draft are key spots in the draft.
And you have 3 good quarterbacks coming out this year.
More than 3, but those are the 3 best.
Well,
Drake Mayo, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix. Well, I can't even say the 3 best because we don't even know if Michael Penix Jr. is coming out of Washington. We don't know if he's leaving this season. And Michael Penix Jr. might be the Heisman Trophy winner this season. I'm going to just say that.
Oh, yeah.
So there's plenty of quarterbacks that may be coming out in the 2024 draft that these teams are shooting for. And quarterbacks who have just been recently drafted, such as like Justin Fields, Bryce Young, players like that, I feel bad for them.
I do too.
Because they might get put back on the burner or traded off to a team that needs a quarterback.
Or get cut.
I wouldn't be surprised if a crazy move like Bryce Young going to the Jets and being on the bench and Zach Wilson getting booted out of there, that's not likely to not happen. You see what the Panthers did last year. They gave away their number 1 receiver for the number 1 draft pick and brought in Adam Thielen and thought that Adam Thielen was going to replace DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Look how easy Minnesota was. They weren't even reluctant to give him a, oh, here, have him.
Yeah, here, you want him? Take him.
We got Justin Jefferson. We got Jordan Addison.
Mm-hmm.
You can have him, Thielen.
Yep,
we got KJ Osborne. You know what I mean? Like, Minnesota did not trip off of getting rid of Adam Thielen. So for Carolina to sit here and be like, oh, well, we're going to take the number 1 draft pick, get rid of our number 1 receiver, and then bring in a veteran like Adam Thielen and think that he's going to do something? Come on now.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So, all right, what's your next question?
That's what you're looking at, Hit. Teams are going to be playing for draft positions if they don't have the greatest record. All right, question 2. I love it. How bad does Michigan look right now with that weak-ass punishment? Great question. Dirty, go ahead since you're a old Big Blue fan.
Really? Do they look that bad? They didn't get shit. They didn't really get anything. They didn't get nothing. Here's how bad it's going to look when Harbaugh goes to be the Bears' head coach next year. Yeah. That's going to be worse than the punishment they got.
Hell yeah.
Why are you going to punish? Well, why would you punish one of your biggest teams and money makers when it comes to playoffs? Because it's been known when Michigan's in the playoffs, they make money.
Yep.
So, okay. They ain't going to give them anything.
That's why Jim Harbaugh had the nerve to call Michigan college football's America's team.
Exactly.
America's team of college football. They're not. Well, they are kind of like the Dallas Cowboys, though.
They kind of are. I mean, if you think about it,
you'll win a Big Ten championship. Well, no, they're actually better. They've had better success in the last 30 years than the Dallas Cowboys. So I mean, you can't even do that.
Here, I mean, look, is sign stealing? What did look, I'm going to go back, and it's going to sound really ignorant. What did Penn State get for Paterno and that dude
Sandusky
allowing all that diddling? They didn't get nothing, and that was worse. That's way worse than sign stealing.
No, they did. They lost scholarships.
Okay, they lost scholarships.
That's key. That's key when it comes to the sports program.
Hold on. Not when you've been having a diddling scandal for 30 years.
Fondling.
Come on, man. And we lost 10 scholarships. We lost 10 scholarships, but we've had a coach diddling kids for 30 years.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that at all. And to allow Joe Paterno to just resign like that, and he gets no type of punishment. I thought that was
no type of punishment. Look, you steal the little signs. Okay, Harbaugh and his group were idiots. They got caught. They're morons. They got caught.
My thing is this: if you wanted to make a statement, NCAA, where's the watch at? Speed up the damn time.
Exactly.
The NCAA loves to take their time with their punishments. That's why the Big Ten only gave him 3-game suspension and didn't do anything to the actual school.
Because we're going to suspend him against Ohio. Right.
But Michigan brings in a lot of money for the Big Ten. A lot of money.
A lot of ratings.
So the Big Ten was looking at it from a point of view like, okay, if we ban them from the college football playoff, we're going to lose money.
Exactly.
If we just suspend Coach Harbaugh, we don't lose any money.
Nothing.
And then our interim head coach Sharon can go in and cry and say, "It was for Jim. We did it for you, Jim. These fucking boys, they fucking did it." Oh, really? You're a grown ass man crying for another grown ass man because y'all got caught cheating? Right. Michigan looks like a weak ass school right now. I'm sorry. Me, from a football fan perspective, from a sports analyst perspective, and I guess you could say a video journalist because I'm not a writing journalist, but
right.
From my perspective, you was wrong. Why the hell else would you be crying that this man's suspended?
Yep.
and then want to sit here and say, "Oh no, these kids did it, the boys did it, blah 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 blah." No, y'all got caught cheating.
You told them to do it.
Exactly, y'all got caught cheating, and now you want to look like the victim.
Like they should have just done what
trying to say that Ohio State and other teams, Rutgers and Ohio State and other teams were part of the sign stealing scandal as well. Come on, you sound like R. Kelly.
Here's
trying to blame everybody else for getting caught.
Right, you do it like you do it like Belichick. Yeah, we did it. It's done. It's over with.
He took that shit like a G. He did not care. What are you gonna do? Fire me?
Yeah.
Robert Kraft didn't fire me. We just won a Super Bowl because of my spy dating.
Here's my invitation to Belichick. Yeah, we did it. Everybody does it. Oh well.
That's what he said. Like, in not so many words, but that's basically what he said. Everybody does it. We just got caught. The hell with
it. That's it. We got our hands smacked.
Punish me. Punish Tom. Whatever. We're still gonna make the AFC Championship.
Exactly.
He didn't care, but I really think Michigan as a program just doesn't look the greatest for them, only because of the way they're playing it out. But the way the NCAA is going about the punishment, it doesn't make them look that bad. It doesn't make it look like they're trying to.
You're also forgetting about the NIL deals now. You get it. You can't really stop somebody from being bowl eligible anymore because those players, if they were involved, can just transfer to another team.
And that's what
because of the NIL.
Yeah, that transfer portal has been open like crazy since the NIL deal was in effect.
What else can you do? But I am getting in trouble, Jersey, for being on here for 3 hours.
No problem, brother. Do your thing. Do your thing. I appreciate you.
I want to see what the next question is.
Okay. Last question from a boy hit.
Oh, we only have one more?
Yeah, he was the only one that's sending questions this week.
Okay.
Is it better as a viewer to have a close match or your team blowing out the other team? I mean, it depends on. I can give you a quick answer for this one. It depends on the type of football game you want to watch. If you like those close games and you like seeing teams battle it out, and you don't mind your team being in those type of close games to where they can show their resilience.
You know what?
So, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish.
Like if they can show that resilience, they can show that, when they're down and out, that quarterback and that offense can step up and make things happen, and that defense can step up and make things happen as well. So it just depends on the type of fan you are. Like me, I don't mind a blowout, but I don't mind a close game either. I don't mind one of those games where the trenches matters. That defensive line, that offensive line, and just the line itself, the trenches is what matters. I don't mind close games like that, or a defensive game to where the offenses are struggling and the defenses are just holding it down and making it hard for both offenses to score, and it becomes a defensive type of game. And I don't mind that.
Now for me, my team has been blown out so many times because they're just terrible, the Bears. But I want somebody else. I want somebody else to answer this. Let's see. I'm gonna have her. I just texted her, but she didn't answer me because she's all fired up at me, Jersey. You got me in trouble. Yeah, I know. We start talking football and all that stuff, XFL.
I know, right? My time.
See. Well, yeah, you're still. It's 3:00 my time.
You're gonna.
And I got the WWE. I got the WWE pay-per-view getting ready to come on.
Oh, you're
all that good stuff. Yeah, she ain't answering it.
Yeah,
damn it.
I actually have an event to do in my RP server today.
Right. It depends on the game. Super Bowl, yeah. I don't want it to be a blowout. I want it to be a close game.
Yep.
Regular season. I mean, listen, like I said, the Bears get blown out almost every week now. I haven't seen. Oh, come here. I want you to answer this question. All right. Come here. I want you to answer this question. Here. Jersey, I'm gonna tap out for this one, Jersey.
Got you.
Oh, here we go. No, here.
No.
I want you to answer this question.
No.
Yeah. Here she is.
No, I'm not answering nothing.
Read the question. This is more you. Sit down and answer. Well, say hi to everybody first.
Oh, hi, everybody.
That's the queen. The queen hyena, Amanda. Yeah, the dirty ass is in trouble.
I mean, I want a close match. I'm not going to waste my time.
There you go.
Okay. That's all you got?
You would want a close match now, and that's why I say
Is that how you answer it?
It depends on.
You idiot.
It depends on the viewer. You know.
Yeah.
Some fans want to see close games no matter what.
Mm-hmm. I want it to be worth my time.
Blowouts aren't worth a lot of people's
close,
time.
But it's a blowout. Mm-mm. That's like if a child has a blowout in a diaper. What are you going to do? You're going to take care of it ASAP, right? Uh-huh.
So with a blowout in the game, you're leaving.
Yep. Bye. Okay. I'm giving it back.
See? It's, there you go.
There you
go.
It really depends on the fan and sometimes depends on the game. The game situations like NFC Championship, AFC Championship, I would love to see a close game every time. Come down to the wire. Super Bowl, come down to the wire. You know what I mean? But regular season games, it depends on how big the match is for me. Like during the regular season, it really depends on how big the game is. Like a Eagles Cowboys game, I'm watching that. I gotta watch it. I hope it's a close. I hope it's more of a blowout for my team. But then again, sometimes I hope it's a close game.
You have it running right there. Turkey Day games. I want close games for the Turkey Day games. I want all close games.
And
that's what I want.
This season, I don't think we got them.
Nope.
But thank you, my boy. As always, hitting up that great mail time because that's what he does. You feel me? This is the Gridiron Podcast, guys, live from Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Gridiron City. You guys have seen my setup is a little different. You can see all my little decorations and stuff now. It's way better. But yeah, man, the Gridiron is live. Thank you, Dirty.
Hey, I mean, listen, you called me out. You called me out, so I figured I'd get on here. We could talk some XFL because I don't really talk a lot of pro football. I talk more XFL. You know what I mean?
You got to come on the Gridiron and get that difference.
Yeah. Right.
It's always
I
good.
Appreciate it.
That's why I have the Gridiron show, so we can talk about spring football, talk about the NFL, talk about college, talk about football. It doesn't matter which league it is, So that's another reason why this show is here, and I'm just happy to have all the support that we have, and I want to thank you again for jumping on with me and chilling with me for a few hours. And we're gonna get into this last topic.
You're gonna get me in trouble, man. I'm gonna go, so I'm gonna let you do it, bro.
You gotta go.
You can find us. You can find me. You can find me on the X Fan Show on Facebook, Twitter, all of that stuff. The X Fan Legion, which the Fang Gang Nation's part of that.
Yes, sir.
Listen, we'll be back. Jersey, you did a great job, brother. Much love to you. Thanks for having me on. I'm going to go so I don't get in any more trouble.
I'll do your thing. It's the holidays.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you.
Here. All right, Dirty. Have a good one, brother.
Later.
Peace out. But yeah, man, it's one of those weeks that we had. And speaking of the Turkey Day games, the Thanksgiving Day games were awesome. I can't even lie. There were some good games. I think that Denver Green Bay game was probably one of the best games out of all three games on Thanksgiving Day. Dallas game was a blowout. We just manhandled Washington. The Vipers, or excuse me, that's the Vipers. The Vikings just didn't have an answer for San Fran. I mean, San Francisco just had a field day. So, I mean, this Turkey Day games, honestly, I feel the best game was as far as competitiveness, I feel the best game was the first game of the night or the first game of the afternoon, which was the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. I felt that was a more competitive game. It was a close game. It came down to the last minute of the game, or at least the last 48 seconds, because Detroit came back and scored, and they were down by only a touchdown. They literally needed a touchdown to win. And it really came down to them making an onside kick and recovering the ball and getting down the field and scoring a touchdown, which they failed to do. But it was a very, very competitive game. I really enjoyed watching it. And I think that even the Black Friday game was a pretty good game. Tua played terrible and Miami still won. They had to rely on their running game. So it was actually a pretty good game as well. And I think that the new Friday Black Friday games that they're going to be doing, I think that's a really good idea to throw, a Black Friday game on every season now, because then it gives you 2 days worth of football before Saturday's games and Sunday's games. You know what I mean? We get the college football because there were so many college football games yesterday because of rivalry week, which brings me into my last topic of the day. College football rivalry week. But Denzel says, before we get into that, I hated my Lions losing to the Packers, but we good. We turn it around. You gonna turn it around? I don't know. You gotta come back. Y'all gotta play them boys. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you know right now. Jared Goff may not be ready for Michael Parsons and the crew. You know what I mean? We a pack of Lions down there. You know what I'm saying? We got a whole pack of Lions down there, bro. So I'm just saying, I don't think they're gonna be ready. But speaking of college football and the rivalry week this week, it's going down. We had some great games yesterday. Oregon versus Oregon State, Arkansas and Missouri, Texas Tech. Then we had Ohio State and Ohio State, and you say you got that grit, okay? But Dallas has been playing on another level since we lost to the damn 49ers. You see, we didn't lose that much. We only lost by 5 to the Eagles. I'm just saying, y'all better be ready. We might mess around and do y'all like the Baltimore Ravens did the Lions. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. No, but honestly, this rivalry week has been good so far. I'm excited for the rest of the games for today. And NFL Week 12. The remainder of Week 12 tomorrow and Monday. It's going to be exciting, y'all. But I think this rivalry week. Oh, yeah, and it is the first round of the FCS championship. Let's go. You got to catch fire at the right time, then. You got to catch fire at the right time, or else the Detroit might put themselves in a situation to where, they go up against a tough team in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So they better turn it around now. You know what I mean? They better turn it around now. They better hope the Eagles get a couple more losses under their belt so they can get that number 1 seed in the NFC. That's what the Lions are fighting for, that number 1 seed in the NFC conference for the playoffs. So, but yeah, rivalry week in college football is going on, man. It started yesterday. There was a ton of games on. Even the USTA and Tulane game was good. That Penn State, Michigan State game was a blowout. Penn State just destroyed them. Missouri and Arkansas. Missouri destroyed Arkansas. It was crazy. There was some good games. Texas Tech, they blew out Texas, or Texas blew out Texas Tech. Oregon battled with Oregon State for a bit, and then they pulled away and won. But there was some really good games on yesterday, man. I think just Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday weekend of football is just going to be awesome, man. From Thursday until Monday, it's going to be a lot of good games. So you guys make sure that you go and check out the rest of the college football games for today. Get ready for NFL Sunday tomorrow. Also, you think the Eagles will lose? I do too. I think the Eagles actually are going to lose against the Cowboys. I really do. I think the Eagles are going to lose against the Cowboys, and I know for sure that they're going to get their ass beat against the 49ers. I know that for sure. 49ers are going to destroy the Eagles just like they did us. I don't care what nobody says. And if they don't, that's a bunch of bullshit. Period. It should not be a repeat of last season in the NFC Championship. That's all I'm going to say. It should not be. Oh, wow. Upset alert. Kentucky beat Louisville in the rivalry game. And Louisville was number 10. That just knocked them out of the top 10. Oklahoma State is actually losing to BYU right now in their rivalry game. Tennessee's up on Vanderbilt. Washington State and Washington just started. Georgia and Georgia Tech is later on today. Yeah, man. College football is going down. Alabama and Auburn are in the Iron Bowl right now, tied 7-7. Arizona's up by 3 on Arizona State, 10-7. Yeah, man, it's rivalry week for real. It is definitely rivalry week. We got Florida State versus Florida, Notre Dame versus Stanford, Clemson and South Carolina, Iowa State and Kansas State. Yeah, there's a lot of rivalries. North Carolina State today. Ole Miss beat up on Mississippi State. Well, they beat them by 10. Iowa beat Nebraska in the rivalry game. Oklahoma beat TCU in the rivalry game. So, yeah, man, it's going down. It's going down. Yeah, I know Hurts' knee is 100. He making it seem like it is, but I know it's not 100. Hit says not if the refs have anything to say. Hey, we'll see. But I think the regular season or the rest of the regular season is going to be real fun for the NFL, man. You already know. Keep it locked right here on the Gridiron every Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Why don't you also go, please check out Gridiron Nation. That's my co-host, Double G, Gabe Garcia's show. Does it every Tuesday. He just dropped a special Thanksgiving edition yesterday. So make sure you guys go and check out the audio version of that show, as well as he dropped another episode of the show earlier this week on Tuesday. So make sure you go check out the last 2 episodes. One was live and audio, and then yesterday's was just audio on Spotify and all your other audio podcast platforms that you can listen to Gridiron Nation on. He's on all of them. So make sure you guys go and check out Gridiron Nation podcast, latest show. And go follow Gabe on all the following social media platforms. Sorry. And if you have any fan mail questions you'd like to send Gabe, send them right there to gridironnationpodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's Gridiron Nation Podcast, just like you see it, at gmail.com. And if you'd like to send your fan mail questions to my show, The Gridiron, or to our show together, The Gridiron Podcast Show, send those questions right to the Gridiron Podcast at gmail.com, and we will get those questions asked and answered like we do every week. And next week, I will have a new topic of the week, so don't worry. I'm sorry I didn't have one for you guys this week. Just was hella busy. I was moving into a new place because our old place had mold issues, so they had to move us to a new unit and all that good stuff. So I've been busy as hell this week. Had a whole bunch to do, but next week we will have a new topic of the week. And we will be definitely recapping week 12 and looking forward to week 11, week 13. We'll be looking forward to the conference championships games in college football as well, because now that rivalry week is over, we're looking at conference championship week. So that's going to be coming soon. If not next week, the week after, this college football conference championship week. So you guys get ready. College football season is coming to an end. NFL season's coming to the playoffs push. So it's a lot of football where everything means everything now. You know what I mean? So you guys keep it locked right here. The Gridiron got you covered every Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific, 11 Mountain. You already know what it is. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for always supporting this show. I want to thank all my viewers on Facebook, all my viewers on YouTube. Me and Gabe greatly appreciate you guys for being here, supporting us every week. And thank you all for, giving us just the support that you do. All the feedback, constantly being in here, keeping the show going with your comments and questions and things of that nature. It's amazing, man. I thank you guys. And Dirty, thank you for hopping in today and rocking with me today for the show, man. I greatly appreciate the hell out of you. Amanda, thank you for jumping on with him. You guys are awesome. We love the X-Fan Legion. We love the X-Fan Show. If it wasn't for you guys, the X-Fan Legion would not be a thing. And we wouldn't be able to have this type of platform to be able to speak on and represent our teams the way we do. You already know. Vegas Vipers ain't going nowhere. LV Ballpark may be our home this upcoming season, let's get ready for this merge. Again, guys, thank you. Fang gang, stand up. You're striking all year long, baby. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. You know me. I love to talk to you guys, man. You guys are amazing. But thank you guys for tuning in. Next week, make sure you guys tune in to the show. And throughout this week, make sure you guys make sure you guys be on the lookout for the topic of the week. I really want to get more people involved with the topic of the week, so that way when I do bring it up, I'm actually going off the post. You know what I mean? And getting the different comments and things. And I'll be talking about it on the show. So make sure you guys wait. And when I post for that topic of the week, make sure you guys comment on and let me know your thoughts on the new topic of the week coming up this week. And like I said, next week, Gabe will not be here either. Make sure you guys please keep Gabe in your prayers. Keep his daughter in your prayers. She's having a surgery done next week, so he will not be here next week either. But make sure you guys keep my man in your prayers. Pray for his daughter and for his family. And he will be back in the next 2 weeks. So, I'm going to hold it down, guys. I'm going to hold it down like I always do. But thank you guys for rocking with me for almost 3 hours or 3.5 hours today, man. I greatly appreciate it. Dirty, again, thank you for jumping in and chopping it up with me today, man. I really enjoyed it. It was a great show. And I will see you guys next week. Again, this is the Gridiron Podcast Show live from Las Vegas in the Gridiron Studios. I'm your boy, Jersey the King. Double G isn't here this week, but he's in our prayers. You already know what it is. I'll holla at y'all next week. Peace out. Peace out, Hit. Bye, Stanley. Bye, Denzel. Flang. Everybody watching. I love y'all. Peace out. Ike, you late. I appreciate you pulling up, bro. Maybe next week.